As we try to introduce the idea of war, this is dividing monomials. And we're going to use a method that I like to call war with monomials. And the concept is a little bit elaborate, so I'm going to have to work through a couple ideas here. These are going to be our rules of engagement. And the first rule simply states that when you start with your coefficients, you must reduce them. Coefficients will never go to war. They can only be reduced. So coefficients must be reduced. They never go to war. And then our second rule, I like to call this like animal war. So we go with every one of our variables, every letter represents an animal. When the animals go to war, it'll be an eye for an eye. In other words, if an aardvark wanted to attack a pack of 6 aardvarks, that first aardvark will take one of the aardvarks out from the pack of 6, and it would leave only 5 aardvarks left. So animal war is eye for an eye. Rule number 3. Rule number 3. Coefficients, we said they have to be reduced. They never go to war. Animal war is an eye for an eye. And then rule number 3 says that you can have traitors in the game. Notice how I spell traitors. It's T-R-A-D-E-R-S. It is a pun for traitor. That is somebody who is on the wrong side or is working for the other side when you go to war. And a traitor is identified with a negative exponent. And as I mentioned in a previous setup to these problems here, I was talking about like if you have a t to the negative third, that negative exponent tells me that this t should not be a numerator, but rather it should be a denominator. So I have to drop it down and then make it a positive 3. A negative exponent is an indicator that you're on the wrong side of a fraction bar. A similar example is I could say that I have 1 over t to the negative 5th. That tells me that this negative 5 in a denominator should not be here. It takes this base and it will force it up to be just a regular t to the 5th. The negative exponent is an idea that you are on the wrong side of a fraction bar. You have to trade sides. The best thing to do at this point is just to run through several examples and show you how the game of war is played. And so that's what we'll do. We'll start with our first example here. This is example 1. And we'll say something like this. 5a cubed b squared c to the 7th over 15a b4 c11. So we start with this dividing monomial idea. We look at our coefficients and we ask, how does 5/15 reduce, if it reduces at all? And of course, in this case, it does reduce to 1 over 3. And then we just play this little game. If we let the aardvarks go to war, this one aardvark on the bottom will take one of them out from the top, and it leaves us with 2 left over. So the top wins by 2. If the barracudas go to war, the bottom wins by 2. If the cows go to war, the bottom wins by 4. See, it's that kamikaze type war. 7 of these will take 7 others out, leaving 4 on the bottom. Now, I like to write my answers with these little gaps so that my terms are in alphabetical order. There's example 1 of war.